She let the words fall like they meant nothing. I kept my eyes on her phone. I've got a date. 3 simple words, tossed out like a weather update. Casual, effortless, meant to sting. I watched her mouth shape that small, satisfied smile. The one people wear when they're certain they've already won. What she didn't know was this. The game had been over for me long before she thought to call it. I had stopped playing a year ago. Back then, we were the couple people admired. Hosting dinner parties, trading secret smiles across crowded rooms, scheming late into the night over stale popcorn and old black and white films. I believed in us. I believed in her. She knew exactly what to say and when to say it. I thought we were building something strong, but I was building it alone. The cracks began as tiny things, longer nights out, an obsession with the gym, a phone that shut down the second I entered a room. Her laughter stopped landing on me and instead answered someone else's messages mid-sentence. Trust kept me forgiving. That's what trust does. It blinds you. Then a rainy Tuesday changed everything. I reached for a charger in her bag and the screen lit up. Can't wait for tonight. Same room. She was in the shower. The message could have shattered me then. I didn't shout, didn't beg. I felt a cold stillness settle in my chest. I chose a different route, not the messy desperation of confrontation, but calculated clarity. I started to collect. Quietly. GPS timestamps, duplicated message threads, and call logs. I cataloged receipts, took note of charges on our joint account, followed breadcrumbs she left without knowing. Patterns emerged, dinners, hotel stays, predictable hours. That's how I found him. Ethan Rollins. Junior exec. Married. Boringly predictable. I found his wife, Julia, too. She didn't crumble. She laughed, then slid me her own pile of evidence. In that instant, the two of us stopped being casualties. We became collaborators. I hired a private investigator. Discreet, efficient, and unapologetically thorough. Expensive but worth every penny. Within weeks I had more than suspicion. Photographs, recordings, sworn statements, dates, names, places. Enough to ruin them if I wanted. But I wasn't after spectacle. I wanted control. I wanted what had been taken from me. On paper, we were business partners. In practice, I held the levers, trademarks, patents, contracts, all the quiet details she never read, the clauses she never noticed. While she chased petty victories, I rewired the company's structure. I shifted shares, rerouted authorizations, and closed doors she didn't even know existed. When the reality hit her, it was already a fait accompli. Last Thursday I planned something special. I told her it was a surprise. Dinner, nice place, an anniversary of some small thing only we would remember. She lit up, chose the red dress she'd worn the night we signed our first major deal, and smiled like the world still belonged to both of us. The restaurant was a capsule of glass and light, a skyline framing the city we'd once dreamed of ruling. She twirled her wine, unaware she was sitting across from the end. I slid a folder across the table. The laughter drained from her face as she opened it. Photos. Screenshots. Bank transfers labeled in tiny, damning entries. Contracts rewritten. A letter from Ethan's lawyer. The paper felt heavier than anything I'd ever held. She reached for her wine, hands trembling. This can't be, she breathed. It can, I said, my voice steady as steel. You don't understand, she tried. I listened like I was hearing something foreign. She pleaded small, imploring, the unconvincing performance of someone who used to know how to manipulate every scene. I still love you, she whispered eventually, a final, useless attempt to hold the past in place. I stood up. I know. I kept my composure. Enjoy your date. Now I'm back in our apartment. The rooms feel sharper, the quiet louder. It used to belong to both of us. Now it belongs to me. Outside, the city hums on, unbothered and tenacious. I walk through the spaces where we used to plan futures, and I feel something I hadn't expected. Not glee, not triumph, but a small, clear peace. People romanticize revenge as fire and fury. It's not that. It's the slow act of reclaiming what was stolen, one fact at a time, one legal change at a time. There are nights when I catch myself missing what I thought she was. The small kindnesses, the imagined promises. But mostly I miss the idea of her, not her. The real one is a cataloged story in a folder on my shelf. Her attempts to move on. Another date. Another flimsy smile in a new restaurant. Will now be footnotes to the night I quietly closed the book. I did it without spectacle. No raised voices, no scenes, no public humiliation. Just preparation, patience and precision. I didn't need to make her suffer. I needed to be whole again. So I took back the parts of myself she'd hollowed out. My business, my dignity, the steady ground beneath my feet. When she thinks of that night, she won't remember shouting or drama. She'll remember the silence across a glass table and the slide of a folder. She'll remember the way her smile vanished and how the city kept turning while her life unraveled in ink and signatures. That's the thing she'll never forget. The rest of her dates, the hushed rumors in boardrooms where my name still has weight. Those are just echoes now. I don't revel in the ruin. I take comfort in the clarity. I stood up, closed the distance between us with quiet resolve, and walked away with the ledger balanced. Some endings arrive with thunder. Mine arrived with documents and a single line that needed no shouting.